Hey everyone, this is Kevin the Autograph Hound, and this video is very late coming, I acknowledge. We are wearing a Santa hat at the beginning of March, maybe even the middle of March by the time this video goes up. But you know what? I have gotten a few comments from viewers, because I apparently do have viewers on this channel, asking, hey, Kevin, where is your 2018 Barnes & Noble haul? And here's the funny thing, the haul is right here. I never got rid of it. I did a couple individual videos on things, but I didn't do an outright full-blown, here's what the haul was, and people were disappointed by that. So even though it's late, it's time to do it, especially since I've been told I need to find a place to put these books and I can't just keep them in the bag all the time. So let's look over what I got. By the way, it is raining today. I don't know if you can hear it, but it's outside. It's just pouring. Good day to make videos, but bad for the audio sometimes. So sorry about that.
Can I just get a quick autograph, please?
Hey, buddy.
How about not?
You want me my autograph? Sure.
Captain Underpants, can I get your autograph?
So let's look at the first signed book that I got. That was Busy Phillips. She was an actress on Dawson's Creek and has been in a bunch of other stuff, particularly Don't Trust the Bee in Apartment 23, where she played herself. I actually started reading this. This was a fun one. This was basically her just writing down random thoughts she has stories of life. As you can see, it has one of those special pages that's dedicated just to the signature. Makes it very classy. I love the condition of the book. So Busy Phillips, she was the first one I got. Another one that I got, although this actually was kind of cheating because it came like a day or two later, is Kevin McManus. And the reason this comes a couple days later is because someone who I was with bought this for a White Elephant book exchange that I do every year. And Katie stole it from them. Katie's my fiance, and then she gave it to me so that I could show it to you guys. I have not read this book. I've been told it is excellent, though. I'm looking forward to it. The autograph in this one does not have its own individual page, but there it is, as you can see. So Karen McManus, got her. Now, one book that I am definitely glad that I pass this up every couple of years because it always seems to be coming. They release this every single year, I should say. And I've always passed it up because I always think it's going to be there, but it never is. So this year I made it a point to pick it up, the Polar Express. Now I did make its own individual video on this one, so I'm not going to spend too much time on it. But it has its own autograph page, which is really nice. And Polar Express is one of my favorite children's books of all time. I read it every Christmas, watch the movie every year in 3D, of course. So that's a wonderful one. Now then, I picked up a couple copies of these, so if anyone wants to check out my eBay store, you can actually buy this. But Turning Points by Sonia Sotomayor, one of the Supreme Court justices. I always focus on picking up politician signed books first and foremost, and certain actors, because I know that they're not signing many of them, and that it's very hard to get them to sign something. So, here's one by Sotomayor. There's a signature. This is a book for children about the book she read before she became like a lawyer and a judge and all that jazz. So, encouraging book for kids. Might even read my daughter that book one day. You never know, because Katie's pretty insistent that when we have kids, it's going to be a girl. Now, I also did another video on this own individual video on this one. But I think I'll explain this again. I'm not particularly a huge fan of this person, but since I am on YouTube and I do have other YouTube channels that are way more successful than this one, this is definitely more of a fun one. It's always fun to see a YouTuber writing books and kind of making it, so to speak. So I picked it up. I'll show it to you again, even though again I did a video. It's a very small signature. It's really small, but this was Lacey Green. It's a sex education book, and one for women. So this is one that I read a little bit out of enjoyment, but it's not something I'm personally gonna gain a lot of wisdom from. Maybe Katie will, I don't know, but there you have it. Now, I was glad that I had a second chance to get this because I passed this last time not thinking it was a big deal. Saw the movie, of course, loved the movie, and then went back to see if I couldn't find a signed copy of the book. They were all gone. Well, apparently Barnes & Noble felt the same way because he came back. RJ, what's his name? Palacio. He came back and signed more copies of Wonder. He also signed copies of We're All Wonders. That's a children's edition version of this book. And I passed on that one. I would have rather had this one than that one. There's his signature. It doesn't have its own page, as you can see, but it's very nice. So it was nice to have a second chance to get this one. And now, I am actually very, very interested in reading this book, and I was stoked, absolutely stoked to find out that Barnes & Noble had this signed. And it's for someone who you might not know who he is. In fact, the title kind of alludes to it. Who is Michael Ovitz? And the reason I am interested in him, because he was like an agent. He was the super agent behind Jurassic Park, Ghostbusters, Tootsie, Schindler's List, Dances with Wolves, Twins, Goodfellas, Casinos, Gangs of New York, The Firm, Gandhi, Groundhog Day, Stripes, Out of Africa, Shogun, ER, and Rain Man. It says it all right there. Who, along the way, confounds the most powerful agency in Hollywood, CAA, saves a legendary actor's career, Paul Newman, helps a young TV comedian break into film, Bill Murray, crowns the king of late night, David Letterman, brokers the sale of studios, MGM, Columbia, and MTA, and convinces Martin Scorsese, who plans to make Schindler's List, and Steven Spielberg, who plans to make Cape Fear, to swap films, while simultaneously talking Stanley Kubrick out of making a film that would endanger Schindler's production, and that's just for starters. Now, the main reason I'm looking forward to reading this is because he was also hired, I think, as the COO, I think it was, of the Walt Disney Company shortly after Katzenberg left, and Michael Eisner was like really good friends with him and hired him on to help fix the company, and ultimately their working relationship was toxic. It didn't work out, and so Ovitz left, but he left with a very, very big settlement because it was written into his contract, which cost the Disney company a lot of money, became like a scandal, and his career, and Ovitz's career, pretty much almost ended overnight as a result of it. So I'm looking forward to reading this. Now, just because he dealt with Michael Eisner, I had to have the signed book. That's what it looks like. It's fairly professional. I can't really read it, but you know, it looks really fancy. I actually like the cover. This is like this is a lot more rugged of a cover than you would think. So and this one has a few pictures with some notes. I am definitely looking forward to reading this one. I'll probably start reading that after I finish reading Presto by Penn Jillette about his weight loss. Kind of in a weight loss kick at the moment, but you know. Now this was one of the books that I made dang sure to pick up when I was there. This was the reason I woke up early this particular morning to make sure I had it. There was only one copy on the shelf. I don't know if that's because everyone already got their copies or because there was only one copy, but I love collecting Academy Award winning signatures, and we have Reese Witherspoon. Now this is a cookbook. To be blunt, it's a cookbook. That's why it's hardcover, because cookbooks are meant to withstand like a lot of stuff. You know, like grease and, you know, dust and stuff. The signature is interesting. It does have its own page for a signed edition, which suggests that, you know, you're not going to be reading this one much. I'm looking through and there's a bunch of recipes. Stuff that I will probably never in my life make, and something tells me she will never in her life make these either. Every recipe in this book so far looks like something that you need like a team of people to make. But the Academy Award winning actress of, let's see here, Reese Witherspoon, what did she do? I think she won for No, that was I think she won for Walk the Line. Walk the Line, that's what she won for. Best Actress. So anyway, I have another Academy Award winning actress signature. I try to collect as many. If anyone has signatures of Academy Award winners they do not want, I have a P.O. box below. I will pay for the shipping, maybe even a little monetary, you know, exchange if you just want to sell it. You know, I just love collecting them. Now this, sir gentleman, is not an Academy Award winning actor, but he is a Tony winning one. And it's Eric Idle, the Monty Python guy himself. Always look on the bright side of life. Now, let's open this up and look at the signature. It does not have its own signature page, but that's what a signature looks like. And I don't know if I'm actually going to read this, though. I mean, it seems strange because he's typically a funny writer, but I don't know. So far, this is not high on the list, but I am so glad that I have a signature because he is really funny. I do love Monty Python and a lot of the voiceover work he's done and stuff like that, so I like that one. Okay, we've got a few more, actually. And you know how I talked about, you know, focusing on politicians. Well, this year it was John Kerry. He was a one-time presidential hopeful, but he lost to George W. Bush in a second term. Now, this has a signed edition page, so that's really authentic, really official. Although I look at this book with a little bit more disdain now because I actually did have to pass up some signatures. What I do, and I always tell people to do this, set a budget. Figure out how much money you want to spend the most. And if you need to go over $10, that's fine, but otherwise keep it below or to that budget. And as always, there were a couple books I had to put back because of the budget, with books that I thought I might have a chance of getting a second time. At one point, I remember it came down to this book and a signed book by John Cena, and I kind of took the chance that I would see the John Cena book again, but not the John Kerry book again. And I ended up being wrong about that. I actually saw the John Kerry book a couple times afterwards, but I never saw the John Cena book again. So I probably could have had this without giving up the John Cena book, and that would have been cheaper anyway. But that said, it's still a presidential run hopeful. It's not common you see them signing books, so I'm still ultimately happy to have it. And boy, the rain got really heavy all of a sudden. I don't know if you can hear that, but now then. This one, I think the only reason I didn't put this back is because it's sort of, it reminded, there weren't many copies, so I assumed it would not last, but that's Nick Olbermann. He and his wife, it appears, wrote a book, but I think he's the, oh no, actually, they both signed it. Meghan Mullany and Nick Offerman, they both signed it. So that's actually an especially rare book, and so that's why I picked that one up. I am not going to read this, by the way. I mean, I've looked at some of the pictures, and some of the pictures are, you know, some of the pictures are cute. Like, you know, I definitely like that one. But I don't think I'm going to read it. I just wanted the signatures. But hey, they sold a book, so there you have it. All right, let's see. Do I have anything? All right, the final one. And this was by far my favorite one that I got that morning. Two-time Academy Award winner, Sally Field, signed copy. Some of you may know her as Mary Jane in The Amazing Spider-Man. Not Mary Jane. Oh my gosh, I can't believe that. I'm going to get crucified for that. Aunt May in The Amazing Spider-Man. So I'm not going to read this. I have no interest in it, to be perfectly honest. But I collect Academy Award-winning signatures. This is one of them. And unfortunately, it does not have its own dedicated signature page, but that's what it looks like. So there you have it. Again, I might make more videos, like separate videos for all of these books. As you can see, the haul was quite big. And then I have like a couple duplicates in there that I was going to sell on eBay. But anyway, there's the 2018 Barnes & Noble haul. I think, you know, what about you guys? Did you guys pick anything up you really wanted? Did you miss anything that you wanted? What is your budget? I would love to know. So comment below, like, favorite, share, subscribe. If you enjoy my videos, consider becoming a Patreon member. It's totally optional, of course, but even those $1 a month goes a long way to helping the channel run smoothly, and you get access to my exclusive Patreon's exclusive blog. And as always, flame responsibly. Have a good one.